I'm sorry, guys. I just realized my mic was off. So, so far on this one, let me just kind of go over this again. There was a woman, 23, who was run over 3 times while trying to take a photo of road rage driver's license plate. As her father reveals, she is recovering from 3 neck fractures and a broken leg and ribs. Now, this video is one of the craziest things I had ever seen. I thought that she had actually been, I thought she actually died from this one. But it turns out she survived. Thank God. Now, I am going to go ahead and put a warning on this one before I show you guys because this is pretty intense. And if you don't have a good stomach and you can't handle things like this, go ahead and skip ahead. There you go. She's on the ground. And again. And you had good Samaritans trying to stop this while it happened. Now this dude, I hope he gets, he better get attempted murder for something like this. And as far as I know, he is going to be getting attempted murder for this one. In fact, let me see again. This asshole right here, yeah, he's being charged with 1st-degree attempted murder and 3rd-degree assault by auto. So, it is New Jersey. We do have a lot of Soros DAs over there, and he is black, so who knows what the hell is going to happen in this case. So, wanted to start off with something pretty crazy like that. And let me go ahead and show you guys, well, we're going to move into some other stuff. Now, this is the one that I started with, and I'm sorry, I didn't have my audio on. I thought I had my audio on. But, what are the chances that nowadays we live in an age where, you know, we have cameras, we have phones, we have everything, and we can catch these dumbass drunkards doing stupid things. And there he goes. You want to bet that asshole didn't feel anything? He probably doesn't even remember the next day. He was probably just kind of like, oh man, what happened? How did I wake up with this bruised arm? Where the hell did I get this freaking bruise on my eye from? And why does my chest feel like I absorbed a bunch of beer? Idiot. Let's play that one more time. And he still tries and drinks the beer at the very end after falling off. Look at that. Drunken idiots. Drunken idiots. Thank God for cameras nowadays so that we can see all of this stuff going on. Now, earlier this week, I did release a video about Liz Cheney. Because she's been going after Donald Trump like you would not believe. However, she has her own dirty little secrets. The vast majority of Representative Liz Cheney's donors do not live in Wyoming and will not be able to vote for her. Wyoming primary is on August 16th. Cheney may have raised millions, but only about $200,000 came from donors in Wyoming. Challenger Harry, I think it's Hagman, who Trump has endorsed, raised about $75,000, $382, with the majority coming from in-state donors. And I really hope Liz Cheney gets taken out of this. Because Liz Cheney is a fucking rhino, she's a bitch, and she is a complete danger to this country. Just like her father, Dick. So let's go ahead and see exactly what's going on here. Texas tops the list with donors from that state contributing pretty much $500,000 to Cheney's campaign. Come on, Texas. I thought we were much better than that. So who does she know in Texas who's doing that? California is the second largest. No surprise there. Contributing also $500,000. Cheney raised 466 $1,000, 100 from Virginia donors, 450,000 from Florida donors, and 408,000 from New York, and 215 from Connecticut donors. She's essentially getting donations from everywhere in the country because you know why? Well, they'll listen to her, and they're trying to get their narrative put across. They're trying to get everything put across, and these assholes will not ever give up power. They have money. They have money that goes way beyond what any politician should be making. But they fuck up this country, and our enemies are paying them off. So that is just an that's a update on Liz Cheney from earlier's video from this week. You can go ahead and find that on my YouTube channel. Now, the next one, and this really does show you just the kind of people who are running the mainstream media. From the New York Times, we're on the Gateway Pundit right now. New York Times Holy Week op-ed. Let's kill God. The week of Easter. The New York Times published an op-ed during the public to abandon their belief in God ahead of Easter, one of the holiest weekends of the year. God is to blame for war and violence and oppression and suffering, warns the title. In this wartime, I propose we give up God. Now, let me go ahead and fix that there, because this idiot obviously has no idea what the fuck they're talking about. It's religion. Religion is what causes war. Religion is what causes battle. Religion is a way of taking Christianity and using it as control against the masses of people who don't know. I mean, I cannot tell you how many people of the Catholic Church have left and have turned their back on God because they had a horrible upbringing in the Catholic Church, the Mormon Church, so on and so forth. And if you happen to be one of those denominations and that's just how it is for you, I don't mean any offense, but I am bringing up history here, how it works. God of monotheistic religions, Jews, Christians, and Muslims, is vindicated of hateful Shalom Auslander rights in the op-ed published on Good Friday, a Christian holiday commemorating the crucifixion of Jesus and his death. What a way to give the middle finger to Christ, right? And I wouldn't expect anything less from the New York Times. God, it seems, paints with a wide brush. He paints with a roller. In Egypt, said our rabbi, he even killed the firstborn cattle. He killed cows. If he were mortal, the God of Jews, Christians, Muslims would be dragged to the Hague. And yet we praise him. We emulate. We implore our children to be like him. Now these assholes have no idea that I really do not expect who wrote. Let me see who wrote this article. Alicia Powell. You want 100% bet that she is an atheist and that she has no idea what the fuck she's talking about? I mean, you know, the gall of this bitch. The gall of this bitch. So, again, we're going to go ahead and move on from here. I don't want to, tonight's going to be a short stream. Now, another thing we had going is 400 pounds of meth, cocaine, and heroin worth $2.56 million seized in one border sting. Now, here's the thing. Usually, they do inflate the number on how much these drugs are worth, but it probably was not worth 2.56 million, but it probably was up in the millions, knowing how it works. And here's the deal. Living in a border town myself, they will usually send in a mule to go ahead and make sure that they get caught. That way the real truck that has a majority of the drugs that's coming up behind them has an easier chance getting by, because the dogs are all busy going after this car. They're very good at covering up scent. Of scent. A 56-year-old Mexican national attempted to smuggle a massive haul of narcotics totaling 450.61 pounds, worth over 2.5, again, I doubt it's really that much, but it's still worth a lot, million, but was intercepted by U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Now again, these guys are extremely good at hiding this shit from the dogs. The incident occurred 2 weeks ago at Tecate Port of Entry in San Diego-Tijuana border, but information has only been announced by CPB. Enforcement officers described targeting a suspicious Toyota Tundra laden with toolboxes that, when inspected, revealed 94 packages stuffed with narcotics. These guys are pros at hiding this stuff. They're not going to put it in toolboxes. They're not just going to leave it out in the open. And the dogs would especially not have that hard a... Well, they would have a very hard time smelling through the different things that these cartel members use. I've looked into these cartel members, and they are very good at what they do. While the number of drugs seized during this stop may seem significant, it pales in comparison to the total amount smuggled into the United States every week. And there we go. It's self-evident that in order for drug smuggling to be profitable business, cartels must ensure that more heroin reaches the streets than is confiscated by CPB. So these places will make drugs, whether they're cheap, expensive or not, but it will be a mule to go through and give a false, basically a false alert, while the real truck got through. And I guarantee the real truck actually did have an insane amount of drugs in there. The latest data from CPB, which only covers the first 3 months of this year, logged almost 300,000 pounds worth of intercepted drugs. Only 300,000 pounds? These dudes make drugs day and night. So 300,000 pounds is nothing compared to what these cartels smuggle over. It is insane. You know, living on a border town myself, I can tell you that this happens basically on the daily, if not weekly, and it's insane. Right here, CPB is able to thoroughly inspect only about 5% of vehicles that cross the border, leaning the odds heavily in the direction of successful smuggling efforts. So that's the thing. These lines, when you cross over, there are so many people, there are so many cars that they cannot possibly search everything. They don't have canine officers on duty all the time. Nowadays, too, they're putting fentanyl in everything. So the canine officers have had to start putting in, The canine officers have had to start carrying around Narcan, because if any of these dogs even get close to a fentanyl package, just the scent alone will cause that dog to go into overdose. So, here's another interesting one, and a lot of people have been wondering this. DeSantis or Trump? DeSantis or Trump? Well, Trump hasn't made any official announcements yet on what's going to happen with the presidential race. And right now, I think that's a good idea, not to say anything. However, it looks like if a pollster on DeSantis, he will not run if Donald Trump runs. End of story. And I'm pretty sure DeSantis knows. And you know what? If Trump ends up winning this next election and then they go with DeSantis, DeSantis will be able to keep Florida going the way that it has, and by then he's going to have that much more experience with these traitors that we have up in DC. The media is trying to start a rivalry between Donald Trump and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, two extremely popular conservatives. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. I've already seen it happen. Some people say, oh, they'd go one way. Some people say they'd go the other way. But regardless, most of them say that they would vote Republican either way. It's better than this potato head Biden that we have in the White House right now. Pollster Richard Barris dumped cold water on the idea of a rivalry between the two. They're not going to run at the same time. They know that if they go at the same time, it is going to cause a whole bunch of problems for the Republican Party, and that is the last thing they want. Barris said of DeSantis, he will not run if Donald Trump runs, and that's because Donald Trump has already gotten 90% of the conservative vote and the Republican vote when it comes to this next election. The reason Barris cited that DeSantis believes the election was stolen, well, actually, I'm sorry. I can't go on beyond that due to YouTube censorship. So that's really all I wanted to tell you was that, yeah, it doesn't look like DeSantis will run if Donald Trump decides to run. So from here, we're going to go to some interesting things. We're going to InfoWars. Now, I don't know much about this story yet, so later on this week, after I find out some more information, I will go ahead and cover this. Broadcast. Biden's DOJ announces criminal investigation of Elon Musk hours after he declares war on censorship. War on censorship. He was trying to buy stock in Twitter, and they lost it. They lost it. That is how you know that these fuckers are just freaking out. And you see who owns it. Vanguard, BlackRock, and the Prince of Saudi Arabia owns the most stock in Twitter? No wonder the platform's so shit. I mean, don't get me wrong, Twitter works for some of the best ways, but it is biased as can be. If you want an example, just look back at the Hunter Biden story from the New York Post that Twitter decided to go ahead and censor. I mean, it is unbelievable. The next one. Pope Francis, Good Friday message. We are racist. We are racist. Pope Francis had a special message for Western Christians on Good Friday. Repent for your racism. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Do you know how many racists I've ever met in my life, even when I went down to the South? Yeah, it's very rare. And not only that, racists don't care if you call them racist. They're actually very proud if that happens. In a Goodnight interview with Italian-based reporter Lorena Bianchetti, the pontiff declared migrants are subdivided by skin color, country, and origin by the West. Now, this has been going on for a long time. People tend to stick with each other's races. Now, that doesn't mean they're racist. It's just naturally how humans are. Look at animals. Animals tend to stick with their own kind. Refugees are subdivided, said Francis. There's first class, second class, skin color, and they come from a developed country, one that is not developed. Now, that is true. There are class systems in countries, but that has nothing to do with racism. We are racist, and this is bad, the Pope added. And Pope Francis, he's been full of all sorts of bullshit since this whole thing started. So, what else can I say except I do not trust this man. This man, I believe, is full of evil. For the Catholics out there, I'm sorry, but that is the truth. So, from MSNBC, blast from the past, it's our job to control how people think, not Elon Musk, which means they are openly now trying to say, listen to us, do not listen to anything else that anybody says. They are saying, oh, we're the right ones. We are the correct ones. If you want to know what's going on, you need to listen to us. Don't get disinformation by looking it up yourself. What are you, a researcher? It's like, well, you guys aren't researchers either. You guys are actually more full of shit than anybody I've ever seen. While it's obvious to many why mainstream media and all the things leaning left are so utterly incensed by the richest man in the world's decision to buy Twitter, a brief blast from MSNBC past serves as an important reminder of just how the media and their overlords see their roles in modern society. And you gotta remember, who owns these platforms? I dare you, go ahead and look it up and see who owns these platforms. As hours of coverage and the avalanche of op-eds are unleashed to explain the masses of why they should grab their pitchforks as Elon Musk offers to buy a social media platform at significant premium for shareholders, this brief MSNBC clip from 2017 perfectly summarizes where real panic lies. None other than MSNBC's Morning Joe, Mika Brzezinski, said that the following words in her loud voice. The dangers, edges here, are that he's trying to undermine the media, trying to make up his own facts. And it could be that while unemployed and the economic worsen, he could have undermined the messaging so much that he can actually control exactly what people think. Are you kidding me? What the hell do you think you guys are doing? What in the hell do you think you guys are doing? You guys are some of the biggest propagandists I have ever met in my life. And then there's the nail. Oops, I just told the truth coffin. And that is our job. Do you not remember calling CNN when Anderson Cooper was talking about WikiLeaks and he said, oh, well, you guys can't watch it, but us as the media, yes, we can read it. That was a complete false lie. And any of you guys who listen to MSNBC and actually took that and took that seriously, you're an idiot. And I do truly mean you are an idiot. To which the Ever Since Joe Scarborough replies, yeah. And here's the full clip here. Now, I'm not gonna go ahead and put that up and play the video right now. Well, let me see how long this video is. Oh, it's 42 seconds. Yeah, I'll go ahead and play it for you guys real quick.
Who were Trump voters and are still Trump supporters. They go, yeah, you guys are going crazy. He's doing, what are you so surprised about? He's doing exactly what he said he's going to do.
Well, and I think that the dangerous, edges here are that he's trying to undermine the media, trying to make up his own facts. And it could be that while unemployment and the economy worsens, he could have undermined the messaging so much that he can actually control exactly what people think. And that is our job.
Yeah, if you look at the issues, Yamiche is right. He's doing exactly what he said. It's
right.
It's
here's the problem. It's called telling the truth. Something politicians and the mainstream media don't know a damn thing about. So, what's wrong? I mean, now that your boy Biden's in, how are things going? How are things going? Look at gas prices. Look at inflation. Look at the supply chain. It's all gone to shit. I don't even think Joe Biden's in charge of what he actually does. I don't know who's behind that. I'd love to know who the hell is actually behind pulling his strings. But we definitely know Joe Biden is not calling the shots. And in case you thought perhaps her mind had changed over the years and she had realized the error of gaslighting ways, on Friday morning's Joe Brzezinski doubled down, sounding the alarm over Twitter's possible management shakeup, calling a hypothetical Elon Musk takeover a very dangerous president for America. There are many ways to stop him if we want. Are there any ways to stop him if he wants to buy Twitter? Are there any guardrails around something like this? Because this could be very dangerous president. Now, here's the deal. Elon Musk, he's a businessman. He's projected to become the world's first trillionaire. He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows his way around stocks. He knows his way around money. He knows his way around a lot of stuff that most of these assholes will ever will ever know. Now, I would show you that. That one's a long video, but I think I got the point across on this one. So, we got a couple more. So, we had another mass shooting that happened earlier this week. I did cover that there was a shooting earlier this week over in Brooklyn, and now we have another one. And what are the chances that the shooting in Brooklyn happened the day after Biden announced a ban on ghost guns? The very next day, that's it. Florida police hunt down for 3 men captured on surveillance cameras entering an Airbnb drug den with guns, shooting dead a dealer, then carrying the body out. Now, this one is insane, guys. So again, I'm going to give you graphic warning, and then I'm going to go ahead and show you exactly what happens. They shot him dead, and look at this. 3 dudes. Casually walking out, holding the body. That means these guys know exactly what they're doing. This is not the first time these assholes have ever done this. I'm going to play that one more time, just so you guys can see exactly what happened. See what I mean? You don't see any of them freaking out. You don't see any of them looking nervous or walking right out. So I guess this Airbnb could have been a drug den, but they had to take somebody out. And this guy he had to go. So I have one more for you guys, and that's because this one does rather hit a little bit close to home, because I live only a few hours away from this place, and I've never seen a fire like this in my life. Elderly couple are killed, 5,000 people ordered to evacuate, and 200 homes are destroyed in devastating New Mexico wildfire, which has wiped out more than 5,700 acres. The McBride fire has destroyed more than 200 homes since it broke out Tuesday near the village Ruidoso, a vacation spot that draws thousands of tourists every summer. And I'll tell you, Ruidoso, also there's another city nearby named Cloudcroft, excellent, amazing, beautiful forest. It's an awesome place to go to. The fire killed a couple who authorities have yet to publicly identify. Their bodies were found after worried family members contacted police. As of Saturday, the wildfire remains 0% contained and has burned 9.6 square miles of timber and brush. New Mexico authorities said they suspect the fire was sparked by a downed power line as they continue their investigation into the fire. And as this goes on, I'll go ahead and probably make a video about this again going on through the week. But the pictures that I saw the first time that it came out, because remember, considering I live so close to there, we get news coming from that area quite a bit. And this is probably one of the most devastating fires I've ever seen in Ruidoso, New Mexico in my life. I mean, look at this. Completely singed. Foundation's gone, all that's left is the concrete. And look at this glare. Look at all the smoke. This is a big area. This forest is huge. So if it was by a down power line, then they better get the fuck on it and actually fix this damn thing. And I'll tell you, this is not something that volunteer firefighters are going to have to control. They're going to have to call in emergency services in order to get this thing out, because there's a lot of people who live in this area, and it is a very nice area. Now, there are fire risks throughout the year that you will get. There are certain times that if you go to that state and you go camping, they will or they will not allow you to start fires depending on how the rain season goes. So smoke can be seen rising as a wind-driven wildfire known as the McBride Fire has been seen burning in Ruidoso. And again, look at the size of this cloud. Look at the size of that thing. Now, their bodies were found after worried family members contacted police saying the couple had planned to evacuate Tuesday when the fire exploded, but were unaccounted for later that day. Very sad, and I do pray for that family. Late Friday, authorities lifted certain evacuation orders that covered about 60% of the estimated 4,500 people originally ordered to leave their homes since the fire started, but a specific number weren't immediately available. Village of Ruidoso spokesperson Carrie Gladden told AP, as residents returned to their home, Fire Incident Commander Dave Bales said crews are working to put out hot spots and clear lines along the fire's perimeter to keep the fire from spreading. And I mean, again, I've never seen a fire like this in my entire life of living here in my life. Again, I live a few hours away, but we do receive news from there. Despite no containment, Bell said he was satisfied with the work done so far and prospects for coming days. Weather conditions Saturday appeared favorable with reduced and increased humidity, Bell said. We have lines in. We just want to make sure they hold in that wind. The fire and the wind spread it down power lines and knocked our electricity to 18,000 customers, but since power has been restored, all but a few dozen customers, Public Service Co-Manager Wilson Gunn said. And, I mean, look at this. This is damage from the roof from the flames. It's pretty unbelievable, and that place must be filled with smoke. So we'll see what happens with this fire, and I pray to God that they are able to get this thing under control, because It's an extremely nice area. You ever go to New Mexico? I would highly recommend Ruidoso, and I would even more recommend Cloudcroft. It is very high elevation. It is out in the middle of nowhere, but you will like it. So everyone, that is what I got for you guys today. I decided to go ahead and do a late night stream. Thanks for joining the live stream. I'm going to go ahead and leave this one up. And so, everybody, you have a nice day. Or, actually, I'm sorry. You guys have a happy Easter.